In this exercise, you were asked to assess the relative performance of each of these industries in 2020 as well as over time. Now, we've defined the attractiveness of an industry based on its spread. An industry with a positive spread, the difference between the ROIC and WACC being positive, would be considered an attractive industry. An industry with a negative spread, ROIC minus WACC being negative, would be an unattractive or value destructive industry. So, looking at that performance in 2020, we can see on this list that the most attractive industry was pharmaceuticals. It had a spread of almost 10% at 9.9%. It had an ROIC, which it achieved at 17% for the average company of the industry, borrowing at a cost of 7.1%, and this industry created a lot of value. Another industry that created a lot of value was consumer products, led by companies like Procter & Gamble and Unilever, where the industry averaged about a 14% ROIC, again borrowing at about 7.6% in 2020 for its WACC, generating a very positive spread as well of 6.4 points. Another industry that was pretty attractive in 2020 was defense and aerospace, which had 11% ROIC against an 8.9% WACC, again generating about 2 points of spread. Now, at the other end of the scale, we can see that airlines were completely devastated by COVID-19, and in 2020, the average airline lost 17.6% per dollar of investment, and they were still borrowing at 6.8. That's a huge negative spread and a lot of value destruction. We also saw some value destruction in the automobile industry, which had about a 1% ROIC, 0.9% in 2020 against a 9.3% borrowing cost, giving it a big negative spread. Now, again, we're not just looking at 2020 performance, we're looking at performance over time to look at how the industry attractiveness might be changing over time. One of the trends that we noticed, just focusing on the automobile industry, is it wasn't just 2020 as an outlier. That industry has been challenged for all 4 years, from 2017 through 2020, had very low ROICs, 0.2% in 2017, 2018, 1%, 2019 lost 2%, and then about 1% ROIC in 2020. Consistently challenging times in the automobile industry, and the cost of capital was not all that different for those 4 years. So that industry ended up destroying a lot of value over time. The other end of the scale, we saw pharmaceuticals were consistently having a very high spread. Again, the difference in WACC between 2017 and 2020 was pretty negligible. So if we think about it, the ROIC of 13% for 2017, 18% for 2018, 20% for 2019, and 17% ROICs for 2020 made the pharmaceutical industry consistently attractive over time. Another industry that was extraordinarily attractive was fast casual dining in 17 through 19, with ROICs in the 20% range, 24.9% in 2017, 28% in 2018, 24% in 2019. These are companies like Starbucks, McDonald's, but you can see struggled as we got to the COVID-19 world, and their ROICs plunged to 9%, and they ended up with a break-even cost of capital. Whereas utilities had a fairly low return on their invested capital each year, but these are regulated entities, and in good or bad times are actually regulated to earn approximately their cost of capital. So what you can start to see is that some industries are more attractive than others. Their performance over time can change based on the industry conditions, or sustain if they're an attractive or an unattractive industry. And that's how we get a sense, as we evaluate the performance of the industries, of what the companies within those industries will perform at over time as well.